Greetings metalheads and welcome to another edition of the Friday 13th YouTube channel. Today you're going to be listening to a audio interview with King's X. This was conducted with Doug Pinnick, a fantastic bass player and singer. Now we all know this band have been around for many years. The first album, Out of the Silent Planet, was released back in 1988 and consisted of the song Goldilocks amongst other great songs. The band's second album was released in 1989, Gretchen Goes to Nebraska, which is a fantastic album. Also features the great song Summerland. As we all know, that is an amazing song, brilliant guitar solos, great vocals. Like the band have done many albums. I don't know about you guys, but my favourite album is Dogman. It's a fantastic album, released in 1994. A fantastic, powerful album, great songs, great tunes and amazing vocals. For me, there's not one bad song on that album. I'd like to know your comments, what you think of that album, or what's your favourite album, so comment after the end of the interview. Appreciate it. So, this interview was conducted in 2000 for the album Please Come Home Mr. Bulbous. As we all know, it's a strange album, weird cover, but a really good album. So, listen to this interview, enjoy, take care, be safe, stay metal and please support me the best you can. Please share on Twitter like Facebook, Instagram and other major sites. So thank you for sharing. Thumbs up and I'll speak to you all soon. Be safe, stay metal. Cheers guys, keep on rocking.
How are you?
I'm fine, yes.
I'm glad you've rang me. I don't know if you remember me, we met last year at Nottingham Rock City. I was supposed to be doing an interview with you and the management fucked up. Do you remember that? I came up to you at the end of the show.
I remember meeting 4 or 5 people, but I can't remember which one you are. If I saw you, I'd know.
Yeah, you're right then, man. How's things?
Oh, pretty good. Did you have a good time that night?
Oh, it was brilliant, man. I hear you're coming back to England
next
month.
Yeah.
Alright then, Doug, congratulations on your new album.
Thank you.
First of all, I'd like to ask you, could you tell me why you left Atlantic Records, briefly?
No, they let us go, actually, because we just didn't sell enough records for them.
Really?
Yeah.
I was very surprised, actually.
Nah, it's business, you know. I mean, I think the surprise was that they kept us as long as they did.
Right.
Because any other band they would have dropped. They kept Sabotage for a long time, too.
Right.
There's 2 bands that never ever panned out for them, but they tried, you know.
Was that a good thing that they kept you for all that time?
I think so, because if they hadn't, we might not have anything right now, you know.
Right.
We got a chance to at least put out a bunch of records that we're proud of, even though the world didn't buy them all. But, I mean, you know, we look back now and realize we had a great career, and we still do. At first, I mean, back then we were real depressed because, you know, everyone expected us to be this huge thing. But as we look back now, we're glad that it didn't happen only because we're still here. You know, we're not has-beens, we're still the underdogs. It's a good thing.
Yeah, I'll tell you, man, I love the album Dogman. That is my favourite King's X album.
Thanks.
It's so kick-ass.
Cool.
Right, okay then, Doug, my next question is, were there any other major labels that showed interest in the band after you left them?
No.
Do you think that was a surprise, or...?
Nah. Nobody's going to take us if Atlantic couldn't sell us after 7 records.
Right.
I mean, like I said, it's business, you know. But the independent labels, they were all calling, you know, because they knew that they could make some money off of us. They liked us too, you know, and they wanted to work with us because we're respected. And independent labels know that they can at least make a halfway decent profit off of us. So it's a good thing. And with Metal Blade, it's more than just profit. It's their friends. You know, Brian Slagle is a good friend of ours for years and years, and he's always wanted to work with us. So we thought this is the best place to be, you know.
Was you friends with him, part of your old management, Sam Taylor, with him doing Awful Truth? Because they were a Metal Blade band, wasn't they?
Yeah, Awful Truth, no. Awful Truth, yeah, they did put it on a Metal Blade, didn't they?
Yeah.
That's right. We've been
Cowboys, isn't it? Pre-Galactic Cowboys.
Yeah, we knew those guys for a long time, yeah.
Right. Because I remember them being on the same management as you
yeah.
Sam Taylor.
Yeah, it's over now. Sam Taylor, we don't even speak to him.
Okay, next question is, out of the old releases on Atlantic, what was your favourite album and least favourite, and why? Got you on a good question.
Our first album is I think the first album is my favorite because it was a sound that we didn't know we had. You know, when we got together to do the first album, we had about 100 songs, and we had this one sound that was in about half of the songs. And for some reason, we put all those songs together and made the first album, and it really changed us, the way we felt about ourselves, too, because we didn't know that we sounded like that, and we liked being heavy, and we loved the down tuning thing, and we just accidentally did, and it just turned into something bigger than we thought it would be, you know.
Right. So what about your least favourite album?
Least favorite's Faith Hope Love, I would say.
Right. Why was that? Because you had a success with that album, didn't you? You had it like
Yeah.
Bill and Ted.
Yeah. I say Faith Hope Love and no. Well, Faith Hope Love and the fourth album are my least favorites because of the struggle that we went through making those records with the manager that was difficult to work with at the time.
Was that Sam?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so what happened after Sam? Did you do management yourselves, or did you find somebody?
Well, we found a new manager after Sam left after the fourth album. It was Ray Daniels from Rush, and he worked with us for a few years, but we come to a place where we realized that there was not much he could do. We could do it ourselves, you know, because we weren't any bigger, you know, so we can handle our own business because we're not that huge. And so so Ray actually said, you know, he said, you guys can go and do your thing, and we said thanks, and we left.
Right. So how did the Bill and Ted soundtrack come about?
I don't know. Sam Taylor at the time just said, hey, they want a song for Bill and Ted. We said, cool, what are we going to give him? And so we had an extra track that didn't go on the Gretchen album, which was Junior. And so we just said, let's give him Junior. And so we were in Europe at the time, so we booked a day in Paris and remixed the song and did some overdubs on it.
So it was only on the film for about 30 seconds, I think.
Yeah, not even that. And it sounds like a transistor radio. It's terrible. Couldn't believe that.
Okay, the next question, Doug, is which was the toughest album that you had to record? Hardest one?
The toughest? The hardest one, I would say Faith Hope Love was the hardest.
Right, okay. So what other indie labels approached you besides Metal Blade?
I honestly don't remember.
No?
I didn't. I let Ty take care of that whole business thing when that all split up, because he took over the business of the band, and I'm not a businessman, and I really don't want to be a part of the business, even though I should. Right. But with Ty as the head now, being the businessman, I know what's going on with my life, and he's my brother, so I trust him with my life.
Right. Okay. Next question is, let's talk about the last album you did, Turpet. It's an unusual title for the album. Who came up with the name? Tapehead? Yeah.
Ty did. He just thought about me standing there with tape all over my head. Ty comes up with some of the craziest ideas. It means nothing. So what he did was I went on his front porch and he wrapped my face with VHS tape and took a picture of me.
Was there any other covers besides that one then?
What?
Did you have any other covers?
Ty's always got covers. He made the new cover, the Mr. Bulbous cover also.
It's a very strange cover. I mean, what was your reaction when you first put the tape around your head and said, right, let's take a photo?
What?
What was your reaction when he started to put the tape on your head?
Nothing. I knew what he was doing, and I just figured we're just making art. That's what we do. We don't think about it. We're just kids having fun.
It's kind of strange because like, you guys and Galactic Cowboys, like Monty does all the artwork, doesn't he?
Yeah, Monty does. Yeah.
And then you do it. Then like Ty does the artwork for your album. It's kind of strange.
Yeah. Well, it's like if you're an artist, you know, and you have more than just music in your head. Why ask an artist to come and make an album cover for you when you could do it yourself? I mean, I'm an artist. I went to school for commercial art, and Ty's an artist too. And so that's a part of our talent, you know, not only music, but that aspect of it. So we just want to incorporate it all in there. Why pay somebody when you can do it yourself, you know?
Yeah, right.
And you know what you want to. I mean, we could have told somebody, make us a cover, and then, you know, had to sit there and talk to them about it and get proofs made, and, you know, the whole thing of talking to someone who doesn't know what's inside your head. And then you got three guys who know exactly what we're thinking all the time with each other, you know. And Ty just said to me, he said, let's just call the album Mr. Bulbous. And I go, sounds good to me. Get a man with a light bulb on his head with a GQ suit. Ty goes, yeah, that's cool. And, you know, and I said, hey, stand him in front of a door like he's going to go out someplace. And I said, and make it a lot of green in the cover. And Ty said, okay. And so he just sat down on his computer, and the next day we came over and he showed it to us. And there were things that we didn't like at first. You know, we wanted the letters to be a different way or something. You know, we picked and chose the little minute things, but basically we did it all ourselves. You know.
So would it be right? So I wouldn't be right in saying that Jerry was Mr. Bulbous head.
No, no. Actually, that's a picture out of a GQ magazine.
All right. The next question is, what reaction did you get for the Turpet album from the press and fans?
I think it was everybody seemed to like it. But everybody wasn't ecstatic about it. You know, they liked it and they thought it was a good record, but they weren't raving about it like they used to with Gretchen or Dogman.
So what tracks stood out the most on the album for you?
On Tapehead?
Yeah.
Well, for me, excuse me, for me, over and over again, just because it's very personal to me. Very, very personal.
Right. Okay. Next question is, did the album sell well? What you expected?
I don't know. I didn't. I never asked how much it sold. All I know is we've got another record, and we, you know, we're still on salary, so I guess it did okay.
Wow. Okay. The next question, Doug, is, do you feel that you can now do your own thing now you've left a major label? You can, without any pressures from major labels, you can do the music that you want, being on an indie label.
Well, we can do the music that we want without feeling that we had to fight to do what we wanted. Because on Atlantic, we usually did what we wanted. They gave us, but they would argue with us over things, and we would usually win the argument. But it was just such a battle to do what you wanted to do. And with Metal Blade, they just let us. They trust us. They know that what we do is just going to be what it is, you know.
Yeah. Right. Okay, Doug. Next question is, let's talk about the new album. Yet again, another strange title and cover. You told me the concept behind it. Was there any other covers and titles in mind for the new album?
Any other names for the?
Yeah.
No.
Who was
No.
Mr. Bulbous head?
Yeah, huh?
Who was Mr. Bulbous?
Nobody. Ty thought that up about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
We were thinking of doing Dogman, and Ty said, I was thinking about Mr. Bulbous. And I'm going, we looked at each other and just busted out laughing. And it just made me think of so many things. Mr. Bulbous. It's just funny. And we just left it. You know, we didn't say much about it. And when we did this record, Ty looks up and says, what are we going to name this record? And I go, Mr. Bulbous. And everybody when everybody's eyes light up when someone makes a suggestion, we always do it. You know, I could see everybody go, yeah. You know, and that's how it all started, you know. Right. And I told you about the rest of it.
Yeah, you did, yeah. Would you say that the cover reflects the 70s or the 60s? Is it like a 60s?
Reflects? Nah.
Yeah.
Nah, it's just us putting shit together on a piece of paper and trying to be artistic. It has nothing to do with anything. You know, it does kind of look like a 70s, early 70s thing like Yes or something, you know. Yeah. Now the end of like Hypnosis used to do, but that was not in our mind, because I don't even think Ty even is familiar with those people like I am.
Right, okay.
I'm 10 years older than he is.
What are the songs about in the new album, Doug?
Well, there's been a few domestic problems in the band, you know, that split ups and things like that, where it's been real heart-wrenching for a couple members of the band, and so they've penned some very sad lyrics about, you know, just lost love and stuff. I don't have a love, so I haven't lost anything, but my faith, I think, was my love and my religion, and I've lost that, and I have a few things to say about that on this record. So it's sort of about lost love and lost religion, and maybe a little hope.
So what's the
lost religion? And a little silliness. I just don't believe in God or any of it anymore. I think it's just all bullshit.
Didn't you think that wasn't there a rumor on that you was a Christian band at one point?
Well, we were, the three of us were Christians.
Right.
And our lyrics, there are a handful of lyrics on our albums that indicated our Christian faith. And it seems that when people would ask us, well, what are you saying? And we said, well, we're Christians, so some of the lyrics come from that. But what ended up happening was people started thinking that everything we wrote about was about God. And then they started calling us a Christian band. And the more we denied it, the more they called us a Christian band. You know how that goes. And so we just accepted it, and we just go on now. We don't even pay attention. I don't care. They can call us what we want to. You know, it bothered me. It used to bother me a lot, but now, you know, you can't change things. And my faith, basically, I don't know. It's just like I've been brainwashed in Christianity all my life, and it's taken me at least 10 years to unbrainwash myself and to get to that point. Even in the early King's X records, I was always crying out, saying, I don't understand this. This doesn't seem right to me, but I feel trapped here. And I feel like if I leave it, I'm going to die and burn in hell. But if I stay here, I'm miserable. I don't understand. And I used to sing about that all the time, but people misinterpreted it as me trying to evangelize the world or something. You know, so that happened. But nowadays, I think I've made my statement pretty clear lately that, you know, I just don't believe in anything anymore, except myself.
Song titles on here like Marshmallow Field. That's kind of like a Beatles.
Yeah, Marshmallow Field. Yeah, Ty made that up when I made up the verses and he made up the little answers. And the first thing he came up was the first line, and then he says, "In beautiful marshmallow fields," and we all lit up again. We all looked at each other and went, "Wow, that's cool." And so we just suggested, why don't you... Oh, I remember the second verse, and then Ty was making up... I made up the second verse, then he was making up the trailing to it, and he made some other words up, and then he came back to In Milligan Marshmallow Fields, and we all looked at each other and went, wow, that's cool. And he says, well, let's just keep it that way and just leave the end of every one of those verses Mills and Marshmallow Field. So we did. It means nothing, but the verses mean a lot. You know, some of the things that we put in this record were just fun, and other things are very, very deep and heartfelt. You know, I think hopefully it gives you a balance, because we don't want to be too serious, but you know, you got to put some silliness in your seriousness. You can't take yourself that serious.
Yeah, right. So why did you do a song called Charlie Sheen?
Same thing. It's a pretty deep song, again, about the domestic problem, you know, the thing that he was going through, and the chorus again is just something that rhymed.
I guess the song Bittersweet is something to do with your song title, like religion.
Nope. That's about a member of the band whose wife has left him, and it's all about him dealing with her not being there, you know. And it makes me cry every time I hear it, because I love my brothers.
Right, okay. What about the track 9 and 10, Move Me, Part 1 and Part 2?
Yeah, Part 1 and Part 2 is just for fun. It means nothing. It's just another one of those things for people to go, what does that mean? Everything we do, people want to know, what does it mean? They think everything that we do has some deep meaning, but it's not. It's just kids in a playroom having fun with each other. and pouring out their heart at the same time. That song too is the verses. I made up the verses and Ty made up the chorus, and it's me singing about someone who was on the inside of religion and now who's on the outside looking in. And that's me. And the chorus, I think, is Ty crying out for just strength from God to help him get through his hard times. So it's sort of a paradox at the same time. It swirls around each other. Every song on this record we wrote together. I would write a chorus, he would write a chorus or a verse, and we'd throw back and forth, but we always would make lyrics about what we felt in our hearts about ourselves. And so it might be disjointed, but it adds for just the mystery, I guess.
So what songs do you like the most on this album?
Julia is my favorite, just because I like the way it's just so mellow and beautiful, and then it goes into this fucking heavy part. And I love it. I can't wait to do it. And I love the melody. I mean, I don't never normally say I like a King's X song, because when you're part of it, it's like you look in the mirror and going, oh, you look good today. It's like I don't even want to deal with that bullshit. But for some reason, Julia just really moves me. I love that song. I just love it. And I think too that we wrote it together, so I can actually like it rather than saying, well, I wrote it and I like it. Bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. Okay, next question is this album getting good feedback from the press so far?
Actually, it's unbelievable. They say things like this is equivalent to the Beatles' White Album. Can you believe that? I just go, people, please.
I wouldn't know, because I'm not a Beatles fan. So.
Yeah, well, it has a lot of Beatles in it, but I mean that's a great compliment, but it's kind of hard to live up to. And other than that, we've just been getting rave reviews. People are saying it reminds them of Gretchen, and it's affecting them in a real heavy way and stuff. So I'm glad.
Good. I still think that Summerland's the best classic that you've done ballad-wise.
Summerland?
Yeah.
Cool.
I remember everybody singing that at Rocksteady.
Yeah.
It's cool, man. Right, next question is, how long did it take to record?
About 2 months.
2 months.
2 months of very short days.
Right.
Jerry has to pick his child up from school and stuff, so we couldn't, do a whole lot. We'd start around 11 because we're lazy, and we'd end by 3 in the afternoon because Jerry had to go get his kid. So it was a slow process, but we did the record really fast at the same time.
Good.
And we've been together for so long and written so many songs. It doesn't take long anymore for us, because familiarity makes things speed up.
Right, okay, next question is, does it bother you that you get compared to being a heavier version of the Beatles? Does it piss you off? You must have did that so many times.
Nah, because there's a little bit of Beatles in everybody. And, if you're going to be compared to somebody, why not be compared to the Beatles, I mean, people compare me to Jimi Hendrix and Sly and the Family Stone, too, because he's a big part of my life. For those people who are into that kind of thing, people who know who Sly is and listen to Sly and the Family Stone a lot, they would see that I'm all over it, But the Beatles thing doesn't bother us anymore, I don't think it ever did, really. I think it was flattery, actually, to be compared to something like that,
Right.
Especially when I've heard hundreds of bands sound like the Beatles, but we were the ones who got applauded for it for some reason,
More than the Oasis.
Yeah.
Okay, the next question is, are you going to do a promo video for this album?
Yeah, I'm told we need to, but I have no idea. I haven't had a chance to talk to anybody about it. I have not much information on that.
Okay, okay, next question is, when will we see the Bantu in Europe, and do you have any festivals planned?
Yes, we're coming to Europe the 31st of this month, and we're going to travel across it, play England, a couple shows there, and do festivals too. We got a couple German festivals and a Swedish festival.
Which German ones are you playing? Because I'm going to the Wacken Festival.
The what?
The Wacken.
Okay, I don't know.
That's in August.
Okay.
Then
Yeah, I don't have...
headlining.
Oh, yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
I wish The Limit was there. Maybe they'll let me sing "Boys Are Back in Town" or "Jailbreak." I can do it.
Man.
I can do it just like Phil Lynott.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder who's in that band, because if
it's John Sykes.
Oh well, then there you go.
He's a singer.
Ah, well he'll let me do it then. I'm gonna learn it and ask him if I can sing it.
Go for it, Doug. Go for it.
I can do it just like him.
Right, the next question is, moving away from King's X, let's talk about side projects.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find it hard to record side projects outside of King's X?
Nah, it's easy because I've been doing it all my life. I've always been, I mean, Pound Hound has been around for 10 years, and even though I've never put a record out, I've just wrote, hundreds of songs and threw them at King's X, and we take the ones that we like and they give the rest back that they don't like, and I make demo tapes for my friends and send them out, and so there's like 8 or 9 Pound Hound CDs out there that are bootlegs
Really?
that people just pass around to each other of just songs that nobody's ever heard, never will probably. And I've got 4, no, it is 5 100-minute tapes of songs that I've written in the last 10 years.
Wow.
And I put them all on CD and just I put it on a DAT and sent it to a friend of mine who's an avid collector in King's X stuff, and he just started trading things with people. But so when I did Pound Hound, it's just more songs, just another era. Every year I go home and after we tour and sit down and start pumping out songs, and this time I kept them all and asked Brian Slagle if I could put a solo record out, and he said sure, and he gave me a contract for 4 records, so I'm going to keep putting them out. I finished Pound Hound 2, and I have to finish mixing it when I get home, and it's ready to go.
Oh, good. Well, how was this new Pound Hound going to compare to the first one?
It's like the first one somewhat, except I think it sounds better. I learned more in the studio to get better sounds and better drum sounds and stuff. Musically, it's to me just me writing soul music, very heavy, very groovy and heavy, which is what I do. I love to groove, and I'll always groove. It's just I'm stuck on it. No matter what people say, I'm gonna groove.
Are you using Shannon again on drums?
No, I used Jerry Gaskell actually on the whole record.
Wait, who's he with?
Jerry Gaskell's our drummer in the King's X.
Oh yes, sorry, I've
all
got
right.
his last name. I know.
That's all right.
Yeah, sorry, man.
Jerry played on drums on my record, Ty's record, Super Shine, the side project I did with Bruce Franklin from Trouble.
Trouble are my second favourite band. I love those
Oh,
guys.
cool. You're going to love this record then.
I'm going to ask you about that in a moment. That's one of my questions.
Yeah, it sounds like Trouble with me singing it. I'm singing the blues over those big Black Sabbath groove riffs,
What about Ty? Is it hard for Ty doing side projects?
Yeah, Ty's got Platypus. It's done. I think could be coming out soon. And he's doing his solo project, and he's mixing it right now, too. And Jerry played drums on it. And Jerry Gaskell played drums on the Cowboys' latest record. It'll be out in a few months.
Right, you seem like very busy guys. You found time
This year
to
we've been really busy, and it's been a real good thing, and we've made a lot of money doing it too. So that was an added treat.
Right, okay, next question is Jerry. I was going to ask you, has Jerry done any side projects?
His solo record is in the can right now, but he'll probably be doing it when we get back off the road off of this tour. We didn't give him a chance to do his because he was playing on everybody else's. And Brian Slagle said too that told Jerry to wait, until later because there was so many King's X related projects coming out that Brian felt that there was just too many, and so he asked Jerry to wait till next year.
So what's Jerry going to do? Is he going to do similar things to you and Ty?
No, he's got Ty will probably produce it or mix it or whatever, but I think that Jerry is Wally Farkas from the Galactic Cowboys.
Oh.
They've been hanging out together writing songs, and Jerry has a 4-song demo, and it's really good, and it sounds nothing like King's X. It's really interesting. His point of view when it comes to writing music is completely different than ours.
Right, okay, my next question is, I noticed that Pound Hound sounds similar to King's X in a way. Do you agree? And you said yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Right, okay, next question is, whereas Ty's side project, Platypus, is slightly different, what do you think of each other's projects?
I'm proud of Ty because when I first met Ty, and I used to come to his dorm in college, he would sit down with his guitar in his hand and play note for note along with Dixie Dregs and other very, very Rush, anything that was very, very complex, he could sit there and play it note for note. And I don't think he's gotten a chance to do that with King's X, because we try to be complex, but we try to be simple too. And when he got with Platypus, you know, he got to explore that other side of him that he didn't do with us, and which is really good. I mean, I think that's what all these side projects are doing for us, is allowing us to do those things that just King's X doesn't fit in King's X mode, you know. I'm just not into all those notes and progressions, you know. I used to be, but I don't feel like working so hard to learn them anymore.
All right, okay then. The next question is, we're going to talk about the Trouble thing now. What is the name of the project?
It's called Super Shine.
Who came up with the name?
Bruce Franklin, the guitar player.
Right, okay. So it's going to be a cross between Trouble and King's X?
Well, actually, it sounds just like Trouble, except it's got me singing it. I'm singing real bluesy and trying to, you know, that whole gospel kind of bluesy singing that I do with very little harmonies, just straightforward, just singing.
Right, is it, what do you think of Trouble's music? Are they still around, you know?
No, they broke up. I think
they're breaking up and then reforming.
Exactly. So who knows? You know, at this moment, I don't think they're a band, but I know they did put a record out not too long ago.
Really?
Yeah, it was about a year ago. Yeah, it was on a. I think it was on an independent label over here over in England, I think, or Germany. I don't even think it was released in the U.S.
So what's your favorite Trouble album then?
Well, I like the era of when Rick Rubin was producing them. You know, I like the sound, and I liked how they honed in on that just one tone that makes them so famous. You know.
I love the Skull. I think that's a brilliant album.
Very cool. Well, I'm not familiar with all their albums. I have them all, but I've never really sat down and digested them all. I always loved the sound, but I never really listened close to it because I've just listened to so much music.
Right. The next question is: so how did you hook up with Bruce?
Bruce's been a friend of mine for years. He just said, "Hey, want to do a project together?" And I said, "Sure." Like I say, sure with everybody. And he approached me later on with some tapes of some guitars and drums and said, "Hey, put some bass and vocals on it." And I did, and he liked it, and so he took it and went to Brian Slagle at Metal Blade and got a record deal for us. And he did it all. I didn't do much of anything, but just put my name on it and put my voice on it and bass. That's about it. He wrote all the songs. I wrote most of the lyrics. But other than that, most of the music is all Bruce.
Who else is in the band? Because I heard the drummer from Trouble's also in.
Yeah, he played half of the record, and Jerry Gaskell played the other half.
Right, so it's just like a three-piece, basically, with two different drummers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right, okay, what's the cover? The cover for this album? When is it going to be released?
I haven't seen the cover, and I don't know when it's going to be released yet. I haven't heard from Bruce lately. I haven't talked to him in a few weeks. So, but it should be coming out, you know, at least by September. Sometime this summer it's coming out.
I understand that Bruce has Christian beliefs as well. Is that why you're hooked up?
No, not at all. Religion has no bearing on me hooking up with anybody.
Right. All right then, Doug, I'd like to thank you for doing the interview, and I wish you all the best with the album
sales.
Thank you. Have you anything to say to the fans and readers before we finish?
We appreciate all of you King's X fans, and we hope to make new King's X fans, and may the groove be with you.